Hey guys, I'm here at the studio today, just finished up a boudoir session, and I thought I would share some tips with you guys on how to get your clients kind of more comfortable in front of the camera, especially if they haven't done this before. So always, more than likely, your client's going to be very, very nervous, and I think that they're nervous for a few different reasons. One is that they're scared about their facial expressions. They're scared that they're not going to look good on camera because they don't know how to pose right, and they're scared that you're going to photograph them in a very unflattering way. So usually I say a few things to kind of help alleviate and help calm their nerves a little bit. So before every session, I usually tell them that there is no right and wrong, so don't feel like anything they're doing is right and wrong. They don't need to say sorry for me for any reason. For some reason, clients tend to want to say that you're sorry when you're trying to correct them on a certain pose or anything like that, but nothing they're doing is right and wrong, so I always have to tell them that. One is that it's natural to be nervous, and if they feel uncomfortable at any time, take your time, especially. Don't feel like you need to be rushed into a pose, and if you need to look away because you're uncomfortable, you'll feel free to do that. If you need to laugh at yourself, feel free to do that. And if you generally are not used to making sexy faces, don't try so hard to make a sexy face. I actually usually ask my clients to do more smiling type pictures if they're a more smiley type of person. I generally don't coach my clients to be very sexual unless they are very sexual themselves. You can definitely coach them to be more sexual. A lot of techniques that some people use is maybe a parting of the lips or saying their vowels, but I feel like some of those things sometimes gets your clients a little bit looking very awkward, so I generally don't ask them to say their vowels, but it does work for certain people. And one of the things that I find is the hardest is when people, or you're asking somebody to look at you and they just really don't have any light or any life in their eyes. So usually what really helps this situation is just have them close their eyes for a second and have them reopen them, and they have just this new spark and sparkle in their face and their expression that really gives life to the picture. So things like that. You also want to tell your clients a few different things that they're going to be very sore after the session. Things that they should practice if they're really, really nervous is arching their back. That's one of the big things. You have to really over exaggerate your butt and your chest and the arching of your back, so that way it looks more sexy in photos, especially if you're wanting to go towards a more sexual sexy tone in your photographs. That's one of the hardest things that you will find women have a problem with, because a lot of people are not as flexible as you think that they are. So it's just one of those things you have to help them practice, and that's, you'll hear me say over and over again in every session, arch your back, lift your chest, and that is something they definitely need to practice. The other thing is also crossing their leg or giving themselves a curve, So what I find is when I do standing poses, people have hard time balancing. So teaching them how to balance and arching their back and all those things combined together, it can be kind of hard. So if they're wanting to practice ahead of time, learning those few tricks will just make their session so much better. And of course, if you ever watch America's Next Top Model, that they really say practice in front of the mirror, So if your client can do it maybe a week or so ahead of time, just flip through a magazine and practice poses in front of the mirror. It really, really does help. So hopefully those tips will help you to kind of communicate that to your client, to kind of make them a little bit more at ease in your studio. Okay? As always, subscribe to this channel and my other channels to keep up on tips and tricks. This one's specifically photography related, but I have a mom channel, and I also will probably have a travel channel as well. I will talk to you next time. Bye!